in the Spotlight. I'm your host, Evangelist Dan Goodwin, and coming to you live from just down below Owensboro, Kentucky. And it is Sunday, June the 15th. It is 8:13 p.m. Central Standard Time. And there is a lot going on in the world, as there has been for weeks and weeks and weeks, right? It never ends. It's just amazing. And so we've got some new developments concerning Israel and Iran. I was going to read just some stories, but you've probably already seen what's going on, and you know that there's rockets going back and forth. Israel is still continuing to take out some things in Iran. Iran is sending what missiles they can, and some of them are getting through. And by the way, I spoke with Billy Crone just recently, just for a second. He sent me a video. He's in Israel. He's in Jerusalem. Now, he may be out now. I'm not sure. I think he said something about hopefully getting out the next morning, which would have been Monday morning, which is, it's already early morning over in Israel right now on Monday. So anyway, they were okay, but of course they were in bunkers, and so anyway, I know some of you you know who Billy Crone is, and so we're hoping he is safe and that he gets out of there in good shape. Minnesota is here. Ramona has beat everybody again, and I just saw your message here, Miss Ramona. I will go and try to find those when I get a chance, whatever those questions were that you had posted. And okay, so I'll work on that. All right, so let's, we're going to talk about Iran. We're going to talk about a prophecy that's in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49. Now I want to say this up front. This is not my forte. This is not one of my strong points in prophecy. I'm just admitting that. This isn't something I've dwelt on a long time and that I've, that I've been involved in for years. This is, so I'm going to give you what I see here and what could be happening. I could be wrong. And again, this is not my specialty. This stuff here that I'm going to share tonight about the prophecy of Elam in Jeremiah chapter 49. But I'm going to give you my take. I'm going to give you something to think about. And it sure looks like it could be what this is, but I don't know. All right. Now, Matthew 24, we read the other night, there shall be wars and rumors of wars. And boy, we certainly are there. And he said, these are the beginning of sorrows, which the beginning of sorrows seems to be that period of time before the rapture, close to the rapture, the beginning of sorrows, right? Everybody with me on that? And so let's look at something here. I want to take you to Jeremiah 49. I want to tell you that it's very possible that this prophecy is getting ready to be fulfilled. Let me read it to you. Starting in verse 36. All right, Jeremiah chapter 49, starting in verse 36, right? And upon Elam, E-L-A-M. Now, let me stop right there. Elam is another name for what we call, for the kingdom of Persia. But we call Persia today Iran. I think they changed the name in like 1935, changed the name to Iran. But the Bible name here for the place we call Iran is Elam. So, verse 36, and upon Elam will I bring the four winds from the four quarters of heaven, and will scatter them forward, all those winds, toward will scatter them towards all those winds. They're going to be blown hither and thither. And there shall be no nation whither the outcast of Elam shall not come. It seems to be talking about a scattering and relocating. And it's very possible that that already has happened in the past. Verse 37, for I will cause Elam to be dismayed before their enemies. Now this is interesting. And before them that seek their life. And I will bring evil upon them, even my fierce anger, saith the Lord. And I will send the sword after them till I have consumed them. Now there's different schools of thought here. This could have happened in the past already, or this could be what's happening now. Or this could have happened, some years back. Some of this. It could be that verse 36 is way back, hundreds of years ago, and they've recently, in recent centuries have come back. And then verse 37 could be something else here. I will cause Elam to be dismayed before their enemies. This could be after they're scattered and they come back, and now there's another prophecy here. I don't know for sure. I'm going to give you some thoughts, though. I will send the sword after them till I have consumed them. But now verse 38 says this. We got Elizabeth Neves. She looks like maybe somebody new to our show. Welcome, Miss Elizabeth, if you're new. Or maybe you just don't comment much because I don't recognize your name. Glad to see you. Verse 38, and I will set my throne in Elam, and will destroy from thence the king and the princes, saith the Lord. Now, has that happened? Could that be something that's already happened? Could it be what's beginning to happen right now? Your guess is as good as mine. But look at verse 39. But it shall come to pass in the latter days. Now here we have some timeline. In the latter days, that's certainly very close to the rapture, the latter days, that I will bring again the captivity of Elam, saith the Lord. Now, when you first read that, your mind tries to play a trick on you in thinking that this is some kind of judgment and there's more captivity coming. No, it's the opposite. When he says, I'm going to bring again the captivity of Elam, in other words, he's saying it's going to end. And I'm ending this captivity. So let me read a couple of things here. Jeremiah 49:39 speaks of God's promise to restore Elam in the latter days, even after seemingly destruction here. This verse is part of the prophecy against Elam, which is Iran, Persia, Iran, detailing their defeat and their scattering. However, at the end, it says in the latter days, God is going to end their punishment, their judgment. And and then, of course, the final verse says that, okay, so are you with me so far? Now, it is possible that the passage could be being fulfilled right now of their scattering and their destruction. Is it possible that started in 1979? If you do a little history lesson, go back to 1979. You want to see something amazing, go back and look at pictures of Iran in the early 70s. You'll see people on the beach in bathing suits. You'll see women walking the streets in normal attire like we wear here in America. You'll see women driving cars. You'll see a society very much like ours. Something changed in Elam or Persia or modern day Iran in 1979. There was a takeover. The Shah was overtaken. There's a lot of conspiracy theories and things about that. But the Ayatollah took over, and and the deep Muslim Brotherhood and all that took over. Elam changed overnight. I mean, Iran changed. And you see the pictures now. The women are from head to toe in these black garbs with little eyes cut out so they can see. It's a different country. They're in bondage over there. What you may not realize is all of Iran is not bad. Most of Iran is people just like we are. People that are under the dictatorship of the Ayatollah. He's the one that's always calling for the death of Israel and the death of America. He calls America the big Satan, calls Israel the little Satan. These are the extreme Muslim sect there, and they control Iran. And it's possible that these verses I read from verse 36 to verse 38 are things that began possibly with the overtaking of that nation, bringing judgment upon them. Now, I don't know. It could be. I told you this is not my specialty. This kind of stuff here. It's possible that since 1979 that these things have been happening, or it's possible that the first few verses were years ago, and then in 1979, maybe some more. But in the latter days, we know, in the latter days, God pulls his hand off of their judgment and things changed there. What I want you to try to reason with me here and think for a moment. Could this be a regime change that everybody's talking about? Could this be freedom coming back to the people of Iran, to where they will once again have their country back? And I listened to a speech by Prime Minister Netanyahu. It was today. Now, I don't know if it was recorded from yesterday or not, but anyway, this is Sunday. I know he'd like to see a regime change. And I read on Liberty Daily that they're claiming that he talked to Mr. Trump about it, and that Trump chose not to do it. And we don't know if that's true. We'll have to wait and see. But this is getting interesting. Well, let me read that final verse again. Verse 39. But it shall come to pass in the latter days, I believe the latter days are the end times, that I will bring again the captivity of Elam, saith the Lord. In other words, he brings them back to what they were. And I believe that means before the Ayatollah stole the nation and took over and began butchering anybody that got in his way. And so let me read a couple of things here. This is the opinion of somebody else here. I did a little search to see what people, some folks were saying. They're saying verse 34 to 38 describe the impending doom of Elam, including their military defeat, scattering, and the destruction of their leadership. God declares that he will break their bow, scatter them to the four winds, and bring disaster upon them. Now listen. Is it possible that what God is talking about in this passage is not your average Iranian citizen over there that's under slavery to these people? Is it possible this is talking about the Ayatollah people that are under attack right now? And that this is the destruction of them that we're witnessing right now as I speak. I mean, this is going to go on, I think, for weeks. I think Israel is determined. This is it. We are done. We are going to neutralize them, and that's all there is to it. We are going to take them down. We are going to take their military down, their missiles down. We are not going to live like this anymore. And it could be these verses are being fulfilled right as I speak. And then there's one more thing to come, and that's God in the latter days ending the captivity of Iran, which would mean the overthrow of the evil government and the people take back control of their country. Again, I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. I'm not. I don't claim to be. I'm just throwing some stuff out there. If these things are the whole nation's got to be destroyed and scattered around the globe, I think we're a little late for that. I think the rapture is soon, and I think I don't know how to fit this in. If they've got to be destroyed and scattered with the wind across the globe, you're talking decades now. And no, I'm not going to a gap theory just because I can't fit something in. That's ridiculous. There is no gap in from the rapture to the tribulation. And just like there's no gap in Genesis 1:1-1:2. So is it possible that what these verses are talking about is the destruction of the controlling government? Isn't that usually what the Bible speaks of when it talks about the fall of a nation? Isn't it really talking about the leadership, the presidents, the armies, and not necessarily the whole country? Is it possible that these verses are talking about the destruction of who's running that country right now? And that the next step is going to be God ending the captivity and the nation takes their country back. Something to think about, right? Despite severe judgment, verse 39 offers a message of hope, but it shall come to pass in the latter days. I will bring again the captivity of Elam, saith the Lord. The verse promises a future restoration. That could happen overnight. With a regime change, a new government, and the country could change overnight, right there. And the first person that will step up to the plate and help them, Donald Trump. He'll walk in there. He'll offer assistance. He'll offer them trade agreements. You watch. Now, Iran still has a part to play in Ezekiel 38. I don't know how extensive that's going to be, but they are mentioned in the countries that are going to be with Russia when they come down to the mountains of the north. So we'll see what that's all about. But all right, there's a couple other things here, but I'm going to skip them. Okay. Again, I don't claim to be an expert on the Elam thing here in Jeremiah 49. Not claiming that. I'm just saying, with all that's going on, I got my Bible out and I read the passage, and these things popped out at me. And I could be off base here. But I don't think that this scattering, I think it's either already happened in the past, or this scattering is what's taking place right now. Because I think if they've got to be scattered around the globe and the whole nation destroyed, I think it's a little late for that, because we're getting close to the end of the 6,000th year, right? All right. Let's see if we got any thoughts from anybody here. Remote Minnesota's here. Todd's here from Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Elizabeth And I think Elizabeth is telling me that she's new here, but if I'm reading that right. Britt is here from Arkansas. Um, let's see. Carla Cox, North Carolina. I know some preachers in North Carolina. Carla, are you related to any of the either Steve Cox or his dad? Are you related to any of them? I'm curious. I preached in Marksville one time for Brother Cox, the senior, and Daryl Cox. I preached for him. He did a foreword for one of my books, believe it or not, way back. The Answers to Life's Biggest Questions. I believe he did the foreword for that book. And I don't know, Carla, if you're any relation to any of them or not. Be interested to see. I'm sure there's lots of different people with the same name, right? Let's see. By the way, Trump spoke an hour or so with Putin about Iran, which is interesting. Okay, not related. Thank you, Miss Carla, for letting me know that. Let's see. Todd says if Russia gets involved, this could be Ezekiel 38, and I agree, 100%. We've been watching for that for some time. So there's lots of interesting things to keep your eye on. Let's see. Bill Falige from Erie, Pennsylvania is on. Let's see who's on YouTube up here that's commented. Ladybug is here. That is, but we got a bunch of people watching, but nobody's commenting. I'll tell you why. This is a tough one. This is a topic that most people are not sure what they believe about this, and it's kind of a tough one. And that's why I'm being honest with you. That I'm throwing out what jumped out at me. It doesn't mean that I'm spot on here, because I may not be. And but as some time goes by and we study and we talk, we may get some more information to help us understand this better. I'm going to be talking to Doc about it. We may do a show on this. We'll go in the studio Tuesday and Wednesday. And Russell is on YouTube watching, I think he said. And so that's it. Keep your eyes on this. There's a lot of hatred, even from good people that some of us have watched. And now Doc just messaged me. Earthquake earthquake somewhere. I missed it. Let me see. See if I can bring that back. Earthquake in the Fordo uranium plant in Iran. Has anybody heard about that? Anybody heard about the earthquake? Let me turn my internet back on over here on the big computer and go to the news and see if I can find anything about that. And there's nothing yet. I don't know if this just happened. Anybody heard about this? An earthquake in Iran. Now, is that a real earthquake or is that a manufactured one? Again, I don't know, and I don't see any headlines yet. Netanyahu, they just killed Iran's chief intel officer and his deputy, it says. I don't see anything about the earthquake yet, but so I'm not sure where that is. Anybody got anything? Brian Cavens, how you doing, buddy? You're up in Indiana somewhere, I believe. Terre Haute or somewhere up there. Miss you, buddy. Haven't seen you since the funeral of Brother West, and I still miss that guy. And no voice. Who has no voice? I don't know what that means. No voice. You don't mean you're not saying you can't hear me, are you? I hope. I didn't lose my audio, did I? Everybody still hear me? There's a lot of people watch. There we go. Ladybug near the nuclear sites. Is that where the earthquake was? Well, you know, is it possible that they dropped that bunker buster? They were talking about that today. That Netanyahu is asking Trump to. They say we are the only ones that have this bunker buster bomb that can take out that installation that's way underground. Do you suppose that's what the earthquake was? Do you suppose they dropped that? And it could only be dropped by a B-52. Do you suppose they dropped that bomb and that's what that is? I've got to shut that internet back off because I keep losing my signal on Facebook. It can't handle both of these units here. So I just shut the internet off over there. And so keep an eye on that. Now, what do you mean no sound? What did I do? Yeah. So can you hear me? Can everybody hear me on Facebook? No sound on the Facebook live stream. Huh. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Did I do something? Let me real quick. Let me go here. And Bluetooth. Let's turn the Bluetooth off. How's that? Let's turn that off. And let's go. Let's do this. All right. All right, I'm back. Let me know if you can hear me on Facebook. Let me know if you can hear me now. I just saw a thumbs up. That might mean something. Apologize for that, and it's messing up again. I'm having trouble with the internet. Let me go back and shut it off again, and just use the phone signal. All right. Okay. Let me know. Facebook? Any sound on Facebook yet? Sound. Anybody got sound? YouTube, you guys hear me, right? All right, so they're coming over to the YouTube channel because they said it's believed that the bombing might have started something, the earthquake. So the earthquake could have been a result of bombing, or we don't know yet. It could be that bunker buster. So YouTube's fine. I'm going to shut Facebook off. I think something's wrong anyway. So we're just going to stick with the YouTube here. And I'm about done anyway. Let me see if there's any words of wisdom on here. I don't see Van tonight. Where's Mr. Van? All right, 2.5 earthquake in Iran somewhere. It could be a result of the bombing, or it could be a bomb that's registering 2.5 on the Richter, and that could be the bunker buster bomb that they needed, and that may have took out that underground site. North, and I can't read the small print. Nothing less says they think it was an explosive, and okay. They said they believe that the bombing might have started something, the earthquake per se. It's in Fordo, Iran. YouTube is fine. Your sound on Facebook and your signal on Facebook is buffering. Okay. I shut the Facebook off, so anyway. All right, so feel free to leave your thoughts. Hit the like button, share if you want. And again, I'm not the expert on this passage in Jeremiah. I gave you some thoughts. That's all it is, just some possibilities. And we'll just have to see. As fighting continued between Israel and Iran for the fourth consecutive night, several loud explosions were heard near the Fordo nuclear site in Iran, with noticeable ground tremors. Okay. I mean, it's pretty obvious that the best guess is this is bombs causing the Richter scale to register that. Or they could have triggered an earthquake. Who knows? So we'll see. All right. Anything else? Lord willing, we'll try to be back tomorrow, and we will be at the studio Tuesday and Wednesday. It's iffy, up in the air whether I come. I won't be here at my office, so if I come live, it'll be in my truck or in my daughter's house. I don't know. We'll play it by ear on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Now Monday I'll still be here, so tomorrow night I should be fine. And I'm not sure where we're going from here. I've got some topics planning to do. We may talk about Israel. I don't know. We'll see. But Tuesday and Wednesday is iffy on whether I get to go live or not. So I'll let you know on that. And we'll just see how it goes. And so. All right, I'm going to sign off for now then, and appreciate everybody that watched, and keep your eyes on them skies.